Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Princess Janet, and we have with me here my husband as always.
Hi guys.
What God has joined together, let nothing put asunder. So today we're going to be talking about something very interesting,
Yeah.
and it's all about what are the reasons why some marriages abroad fail or they have problems immediately they relocate from their home country to abroad, specifically let's say from Nigeria to abroad, whether Canada, UK or US. So we're going to be diving into that topic and discussing it. So we're going to be talking about some reasons why we think such things happen, and then we'll talk about what can be done, to kind of mitigate those reasons. So the first one I would think is the change of environment. Being that Africa or Nigeria is a different environment compared to Canada. The weather is different, the system is different. Things that are acceptable in Nigeria is not acceptable here. So that sudden change, sudden shift causes a lot of friction for some couples, and they find it difficult to adjust. So what do you think?
You are right. What I think when you are there's this saying that when you is it move to Rome, you behave
Like a Roman.
Roman. So like when you look at you're moving from a place where things are different, like Nigeria, where things are kind of like definitely you're in a different world. Maybe you're moving from Africa to North America or to Europe. You should know that okay, there are things that are obtainable in Nigeria that is not obtainable here. Like we were thinking about this topic and we were like, okay, for common thing that happens, especially when it comes to finances, because we're looking at different areas, how these areas affect couples majorly. And one major thing is finances. In Nigeria, for example, a man can be working alone, or a woman can be working alone, and he or she can conveniently take cater for the home. Like he can pay or she can pay the bills, they can pay the rent, they can fuel car and do some other stuff. But yeah, except I don't know what except you're a businessman, you are very well established. It, it's so difficult for either as a man alone to be working and get trained for all the bills in the home, or the woman alone working and be catering for all the bills in the home. It's not possible.
Yeah, and maybe it might not even be entirely convenient in Nigeria, but at least it's still possible because most of the time our bills, especially rent, which takes a lot of our money, is always yearly. So once you pay for a year, at least you are relaxed. But abroad, you pay every month.
Yeah,
If you don't pay in a month, that means you are going to be homeless. If you are out of job, you can still be out of job in Nigeria for 6 months and still be managing. The out of job here for 6 months.
Even for 1 month,
You will know it will tell in your body that something is wrong.
Something is wrong somewhere.
And also the fact that you're in a new country in Nigeria, nobody is going to disturb you for visa or anything. But most times when people move to a new country, they move on a visa, maybe student visa or work visa, and with time you need to renew again. They need to save for that visa, they need to save for rent, they need to save for different kind of things. So it always require the two couples to work, and that can put a lot of strain.
Yeah.
And here the work, in Nigeria, that kind of work that you would do, especially like working for the government, that you don't really do much. Like it doesn't really strain you. Maybe you just sit down in the office, you sign some papers, you go from one place. But here
You have to do the work.
your paper, how are you will work that work that you are asked to work.
You're gonna do
Remember when you were working in UK, the warehouse job, you will work. There's no way you will not work.
If you are gonna get a break, then if you are gonna get a break,
1 hour
for
break,
30 minutes or 15 minutes, 15 minutes. Once 15 minutes is done, you are back to the floor of the warehouse. You're working, and even here, once it's 15 minutes or once you have your 30 minutes or 1 hour break, once that is up, you have to go back to work. So and some you can argue like, okay, I'm married, I and I think it's common with women when they say I see this a lot online. They say I can't be like in my father's house I'm not paying rent.
Mm.
And now come to your house and not be paying rent. I'm like, like what kind of ideology is this? Like it's possible it might be in it might it's even possible. Funny thing, yeah, it's even possible that yeah, a man can
It's
be
kind of true.
a man can be doing that.
Let's look at the dynamics. Most times in Nigeria, people frown out female children leaving their house unless they have a job in a different place. For example, if your parents in Ibadan and you got a job in Ibadan, if you are a female, you are say you want to go and rent house outside, you're like, what are you doing outside? You are not yet married.
But the ideology of I'm not parent, then when I'm married, I expect you as my husband to pay rent.
Parents.
Fine, everybody with their own opinion, but if you are here, like here in North America or Europe or anything, even if the man is single-handedly paying, let's say there's a situation where the woman does not have a job, like there is limit. I always say this, that there's a limit to what you guys can achieve.
Yeah.
You guys want to go travel, you guys want to buy good things because you want to
Invest
also enjoy, like
and
you want to
all that.
invest, you want to invest in your kids' education, you want to invest in probably properties, you want to invest in stocks or do some other stuff. So you can't do all those things with probably the man earns $3,000, $4,000. It can't be enough. Your rent is probably gonna take a chunk of it, maybe to take $2,000 or 1,500, depending on where you're living. Some can even take 2,500. If you're living in high place like say Toronto, those who say Toronto,
London.
so if you stay in London, stay. So if there are places that when you stay, like where you stay, it's gonna take a big chunk of your salary. Then apart from that, you probably you have a car. Let's say you're not even paying, you don't have a finance car, but you have to pay insurance for your house, insurance for your home,
Pay for
insurance,
gas,
pay for gas, pay for electricity.
electricity.
If you don't have kids, your kids will go to daycare. You have to pay for daycare. Kids need clothing. You self need clothing. You need a lot of things. So you might not be able to live that life, and that's why you not be asking yourself that what kind of what can they say American dream. You're in America. This is not you are not living the American dream.
Yeah.
So you just have to like everybody needs to come together.
You have to give it what it takes.
Like bring your finances together. Both of you have to go out and work. I've seen cases of where because of people wants to meet of the financial need in the home, the husband goes out in the morning, and while he's coming back, the wife will also go out in the afternoon.
And they will be exchanging.
And they're exchanging kids, and so a lot of dynamics, like a lot of family, and that's moving from finance, and that's another aspect of family dynamics, where you guys have to you guys are now like kind of busy because you probably the husband works day shift, the wife works afternoon shift or night shift. When the husband is back from day shift, the husband, the wife is going for night shift. So you are not even seeing each other most of the time. Like you just see each other briefly. Maybe by the time you come back in the afternoon, like say 6, 7, or 8. So I've seen where I work. I've seen people where the husband does day shift, the wife does night shift. So the husband leaves home in the morning 8 and comes back 8 p.m. The wife will have to leave 7:30. Or sometimes the wife drives to work, drop the car for the husband, and the husband takes the car from work, takes it back home. So those are the dynamics that you need to kind of adapt to, because now, like as you said, now you move from Nigeria or wherever you're coming from, you're in a different world. Fine, things can change along the line, but let's say that is what you have at the moment.
You need to just
adjust,
change and
you need to adjust
so that everything will work out, and the purpose why you traveled abroad will be fulfilled. And also in Nigeria, we have like a village, a community that that helps you. For example, if your husband and wife is working and they don't have a lot of time, they can get a help, a maid that will help with house chores. But here,
if you are gonna get,
you pay at least minimum wage. By the time you remove that from your own salary itself,
what is left?
What's left? You have to be extremely rich before you can afford that kind of lifestyle here.
If
in Nigeria, you will have a maid, you will have a driver, you will have a gatesman. almost 4 people, even in the house that you are paying, money to, and some people can conveniently pay it. Why, when you get abroad, you need to become all that for yourself.
So you're gonna be your driver.
You
Gonna
might
be
not
your
even be able
cleaner.
to. Some people might not even be able to afford those things abroad, but maybe they could bring their parents in and say, okay,
Yeah.
my mom can come and stay with me, or my niece that is in university will come. You might not be able to do that here, so it's going to be just you and your husband. Sometimes another thing is, when people are in Nigeria, they've not really lived as husband and wife alone without any kind of external influence. So by the time they now get abroad, that is when they now started to actually live as husband and wife without, all those things that were helping them to shock the places that there were gaps. So the gaps become so obvious, and it becomes so difficult for some people to know to just adjust. And for example, the example you gave where the husband works 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and the wife works night. In that kind of scenario, for example, as the wife, you prepare the dinner for your husband so that when he comes back, he just eat and sleep. And then you, as the husband, so before your wife comes back in the morning, she'll have prepared breakfast for her so that when she comes back, she just eat and sleep. No? But sometimes people don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that.
They will expect the man can expect to have dinner ready by the time he comes, and then still expect the woman to come back in the morning and prepare breakfast for him, even though he was the one that slept at home and all that. So these are, and maybe he wasn't doing that in Nigeria before, but they are not more in Nigeria. The dynamics has changed. So you need to change with it. You need to give it everything it takes. And I think that's the main reason. Change. People don't want to change. You can't be in Canada and still be enjoying some of the benefits you are enjoying in Nigeria.
Then one thing, like that change. Also, the one that also affects people is you also need to give it time, because when you come to a developed world, or you leave your own country, you come to the West, you need to see that okay, there is a growth time. There's a growth time. You don't just expect okay, because based on what you've heard from people, and maybe depending on people that are around you, they might say, abroad is easy. You start, you make this. Your scenario might not, your case might not be the same.
Yeah. For example, someone that came into Canada as a permanent resident, don't compare yourself to someone that came in as a student. Different scenario. You guys will grow at different pace. Don't give yourself unnecessary pressure.
For example, the things that as you as a student, or you that came in as a permanent resident, or you that came in as whatever, or with a valid, like a visa that can allow you to stay for a longer period of time, things that you're gonna get are gonna be different. For example, if you are a student, you might not get access to some loans, to some credit, to some things, but depending on the person who is a permanent resident, or who has a longer visa, who has permanent, maybe came with a job offer or something, your life is gonna be different. What you enjoy, for example, if you're a student, you probably be working for 20 hours, but somebody who is on, maybe who has a job or job offer before he came here, or somebody who is a PR, permanent resident, person can work unlimited. So while you are making 1,000, for example, when you are making $1,000 in a month, person is probably making 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, depending on how much they work. So you can't compare your life to somebody else. So you have to give it time. Your growth might not be, even if you come in with PR together. Maybe you had some of your friends that came with PR, and within 1 year they've achieved this, they've achieved that. Give yourself some time. Give yourself a breathing space. Don't follow the bad go, people are doing this in this also number of years. Your scenario is different. Your case is different. Some of the things that we talk about when we talk about people who are going for vacations and going to searches and going to this and that, our scenario is different. Sometimes you are in a phase of building. You might not be able to afford going for Mexico, Cancun, going for all those things. Your scenario is different. Your situation is different. Fine, you might prioritize and say, okay, priority is going for vacations, going for this, going for that. And some people's priority is getting properties, building. Everybody's priority is different. So you have to give yourself, no, okay, my situation is different. What I'm targeting, my target is different. What I'm doing is different from this other person.
Yeah. And also, another reason is finance. It's also related to the change in a way. Finance. A lot of people don't know how to manage their finance. And even in Nigeria, finance causes a lot of issues. So the same issue can they might be having the issue in Nigeria before, and just even just ship the same
The
issue
same.
here to Canada or wherever they are. And the thing about finance in Canada is the government sees both income as one.
Yeah.
No, they call it household income.
Household income.
So whatever income you earn and they add it together, whatever you want to do as a family, it is household income. Is one.
So when
They
somebody's
see it
thinking
as one
so when somebody's thinking that my income is my income,
income.
the
It
government
does
is seeing it as
as
household
one.
income.
If you
As
want to
one
file
income.
your tax, in a way,
They consider both out.
they kind of join it together.
Whatever credit, whatever thing you want to access,
If you want to
they
get a
access your
mortgage
family
or everything,
and
the
family
income
together.
is one. So if you are coming from a place where you see it as two different things, my income is my income, my whatever is my whatever. If you come here, you need to adjust and plan your income together. Even if one income is focusing on the bill and the second income is focusing on investment or savings for the future, you need to plan those two together. And irrespective of what one person is making, for example, if the man is even making up to $10,000 in a month, which is on the high side, fine, that can conveniently take care of a family.
Yeah.
But if the wife is also earning 5,000 and is added 15,000 is better than 10,000. Definitely, what you will plan with 10,000, you will plan more with 15,000. And also your children, you need to also look at that, because the dynamics here is different from Nigeria. In Nigeria, the children can go to public school, you can go to private school, some people can easily afford it. But here, the fee is is not something people can easily afford. Even people that were born here, the people that owns the land,
they collect
loan to send their children to school. Why there are some people that they plan ahead of time so that their children will not have to start their life on debt. It's part of what planning your finance as a couple will can help your children. So it's not just helping you as a couple, it's also helping your children. It can lay down a good foundation for your children, which is most times the reason why a lot of people travel. You travel because of your children. So you need to factor that into place. And I think understanding is also very important. When couples understand each other, if couples understand each other, it's also easy for them to easily adapt, because
one
they will
question
put
I ask
each
is,
other into
one
consideration.
question I ask is, okay, you guys, when you guys are planning to move down here, you guys are doing things together, you were making plans and everything, and you just get here and everybody just doing their own thing. Like, you guys planned when you were coming here, you planned your resources, because relocating is not an easy feat. Like, it involves a lot of money. So when you guys were doing all these things, you were putting money together, you were really planning, putting things together. Then you now get here, you now be having like issues, you now be having like differing opinions and everything. So find that there might be differing opinions, but try as much as possible to what was the word now, to come together, like have one voice.
Unity of purpose. And then the third reasons that I've seen is the fact that sometimes
just as it comes to mind.
The third one I think is because sometimes, just like you said, unity purpose, sometimes it's not both couples that really want to travel. So sometimes one person have the desire to travel more than another person. So for example, maybe it's the husband that has that dream to travel and the wife does not really want to travel, but she just didn't have a choice to follow. Or it is the wife that really wants to travel by fire by force, and then the husband was like, let me try follow her. So sometimes when they not get aboard and then all the challenges now face them like this, then they start blaming each other. And I said I don't want to travel. I don't want to allow. I was managing director of Access Bank in VI. I was earning this. Now I can't get a job. Now I have to start washing people's bum and all those kind of things who can cause friction, because both of them, when they don't have the same level of desire to travel abroad, so it can cause a lot of issue. How do you think people can solve that kind of friction?
Like what I said earlier, you just need to be patient. I think when you come into the country, like, patience is the most important thing. And when you are coming, you need to also have a plan. Most of the time when people come, there's no plan. Because, for example, when you're coming back from Nigeria, you need to look at, okay, what are the degrees that I have? What are the things I can work with here? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to get like more diplomas, or do I need to? There are online training platforms right now. There are Coursera, things that you can use to sharpen your skills. So if you are coming from maybe from any part of the world and you're coming to the West or to North America or Europe or anything, look at what are the things that you can do. Do I need to go back to school? For example, let's say you come in and you get a job. While you're on that job, what are the things you can do to increase your pay? You're earning 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Okay, what are the things I can do? Maybe find another job or get some. So you just need to be patient. Patience, planning, looking out for opportunities that you can explore. For example, there are different opportunities like that lies around. You just need to talk to people about some of the things that you want to do, something that are good for some people that have been here for a while. So they know one or two things about the things that you want to do so that they can guide you. They can tell you, okay, why don't you do this? Then you also make your research. The internet is there for everybody. Make your research, talk to people, go to where you want to work. Talk to them, okay, what can I do to work here? They're going to guide you. Yeah, there is freedom of information, so they're going to guide you. They'll tell you, do it this way, do it that way. And once you follow it, boom, you'll get there.
Yeah.
And one major thing that I think we also need to talk about is, especially when it comes to food, uh, your feeling is gonna change. So you have to change that. Fine, you might be able to get your food from Nigeria. Let's say the kind of food that you're used to, but they are kind of expensive. They're expensive when it comes to our Niger food. When it comes to food, your native food, they are expensive, especially because they are coming back from home. Most of them they are not getting from here. So your feeding might change. Your the kind of things that you eat. Fine, now you might even get access to a better food, like say, you can have access to more proteinous food, more because definitely that's your your financial ability to afford some things definitely is going to be better if you are here. Based on our experience, your financial capacity to get better things, get better food is going to change. It's going to be better. So you can have access to good food, but you also need to know that your feeding might change. The kind of food you eat might change. Now you might be eating you might be eating fries, you might be eating different kind of things, the food that you're not used, especially if you're a man and what you just eat is amala, semo, starch,
You like all
and all
those
those kind of
soup,
things, all
or
those
soup,
oil
you
soup and
want
everything.
fisherman soup,
So
black
those things
soup.
might not be there. Those things might not, and if you want to eat those things, you must be ready to spend. You're ready to ship them down from Nigeria or from your own country down here. So you should also know that okay, there are things that might change in your feeding, and if you know you want to still eat those food, then you are ready to spend some money. And one thing that I also need to also men need to also understand is maybe you are the kind of person that is used to eating fresh food back in Nigeria. Might not Your wife might not, because of your dynamics of of the country you are, because of the work, the work system, because of the nature of you guys' job. Man, your wife might not be able to prepare those fresh food. You might have to cook food in bulk, and that's what people do here. If you're a man or if you're somebody who doesn't like, you have your woman might have to cook food in bulk, put them in the fridge. So what you have to do is, and especially for those who are going to wait and say, okay, my wife should come and serve me and sit down. You have to go into the fridge yourself, dish out the food and microwave and eat it if you don't want to go hungry. So yeah, there's a lot of compromise that you have to make on your part as a man. Especially if you like fresh food.
You have to eat fresh microwave food.
Yeah, fresh microwave food. You have to put them in the fridge. So, and what do you think is will help people generally? What do you think is going to help people to manage this?
The most important thing is to be able to adjust to change and understand each other better. Also, whatever kind of challenge you are going through, try and not, how will I call it,
Don't put
blame
on
anyone,
blame
blame
the other
anyone.
person.
You guys are one, so whatever comes your way, face it as one too. Be united, because Basically, you don't have any other person apart from yourself. Especially when you are new, you guys just have yourself. In order not to fall into depression, and you know, especially with winter and all the weather, you have to have each other's back at all time. And also, another important reason why some marriage have a problem is domestic violence. For example, Nigeria, anything goes. Even with reports of domestic violence situation, people will tell you it's a family matter. Go back and go and settle it at home. But yeah, it's not a family matter. It's not a family matter. And especially in abroad, women have a considerable amount of power. We are seen, our voices are heard. There's people used to make this joke. They say in abroad it is children first, women,
animals,
pets,
pets,
then
man after.
senior citizens. The last on the list is men.
They
So
consider serious citizens like
they hear women, they listen to you. So if, for example, if there's any form of domestic violence in the home, the woman can, she knows that she has that, that privilege. She can call and report the husband, and they will come and carry you. They will investigate, definitely.
Yeah.
And if they see that, yeah, this is true, they will bundle you
But funny
out
thing
of
is,
their house.
once they come, before they even hear anything, they will say you as a man first get out.
Yeah. Even before they investigate,
Before they even
first
get out. So it's not a matter of, so they say just tell you can't look for somewhere to go to stay. So and like I said, women should not also use this as a tool to also punish their husband.
if
For
it's not
example,
true.
if it's not true, because we are I'm not saying I've seen cases, but I've heard about cases where people just want to get at their husband. Maybe the woman is just trying to like get out of the marriage, or maybe she has been seeing someone or something, or she just wants to use that as an opportunity. So please don't use that as a tool to now destroy your husband or destroy what you guys have built. And if they find out that it's not true, it's also some it's also wahala too for you. So as much as possible, let us be factual about some of these things.
Sometimes I think I think the people, that's like there's this popular saying that goes around on social media, like don't take your wife abroad, and you take her abroad she will change, blah blah blah. So sometimes maybe the man has not even been abusive since they got abroad, but he was abusive in Nigeria. So the woman helped him to put it inside cooler and cover it. And then when he got to Canada, now open the cooler and say, hey, it's my opportunity.
Time to fight back.
And then put you into trouble. So these kind of things, as a man, if you have been abusive before and you know you want to change, the best thing is to, how will I say it, apologize for the wrong things that you have done before, and be truly repentant of what you've done. And then if the wife forgive you, and if she doesn't forgive you, face the consequences of your action.
So and also looking at what could help people, looking at what could help families now. I think we should just give grace to each other, give grace to ourselves, like see ourselves as life is. They say the constant thing in life is change. So just see that okay, this is not. Yeah, I think it's also better if people are. I'm not saying you have at the back of your mind that you're going to face problem, but have at the back of your mind that it's not going to be that rosy. Like it's not that you get to the west or and you start picking dollars from the tree or from the street. No, there's a time frame. There is a process you need to follow. There is a time factor in everything, and there's a change that as you move, there are changes that you also need, like there are changes that you also need to go with. You also need to know that okay, this aspect of our life is going to change. This is going to change, and let's walk a way around it. Okay, if you don't like the change that you experience, okay, what can you do? What can you do? You just need to sit down with your spouse and say, okay, how can we work this change? how can we mitigate or reduce the effect of this change in our life? And we don't want, and you won't want a situation where this change is also going to strain your home or it's going to strain your marriage. For example, where I work now, I've seen cases where the husband does not allow the wife to work at night because you have the option of maybe working in the morning or working at night. So there are some cases where the husband doesn't want the wife to work at night because probably that is not going to work for them. They want to see the wife close to them at night or something. So if that is the kind of marriage you want, stick to it. Just work out the family dynamics. And I also work with ladies at night, and there's no problem. So you just need to look at the dynamics, look at how, and there's some jobs that you will do. You can't but work. If you are, for example, you are working in the medical area, it's either you might not work permanent shift, a permanent shift. You can work in the morning this week, work in the afternoon the next, work in the evening. So you might not have this permanent shift. So you just need to look at how can we manage it.
And
It
then
is for you to change, it is for the
I
spouse to
think
change
another
the job.
reason,
And
apart from the ones we've discussed, which is also very important, is cheating and faithfulness. In Nigeria, men believe they are polygamous in nature and is allowed. You can marry 2, 3 wives. So some people also continue it here and they continue to cheat. And some women will just see it as an opportunity to what? Opt out of the marriage. Which I would say they are within their rights. So as a man, be faithful. Put your thing inside your pants. Huh? I still find it as when I hear news of people cheating in this Canada, I'm like, how do you people do it? Upon all this stress, where do you get time to still be looking for another woman? I want to be sharing. Are you cursed? They still cheat. And when the woman now be hurt, they turn into something. We brought her to Canada. She has chased us out of the house. So she has do this. So why can't you put your thing inside your trouser? Why? Why must you be chasing everything inside skirt up and down? Why? That's another reason why a lot of marriage,
yeah.
just scatter in this abroad. Cheat. And there are still some that are still together, enjoying their cheating together.
So I think maybe on a final note, I think we should also trust God. Like whatever challenges you are going to, maybe due to the dynamics of where you are, because of your job, because of how you be thinking of how we're going to manage our job with our kids, how we're going to manage this. Depending on the dynamics you just need to like trust God in the journey, trust God in the process. If you trust in God, maybe changing your job might it will be the answer to your prayers, or will be the one that was going to make like solve every of your major challenges. Then trust God for it. Trust God for the change of job, and that change of job can also bring more financial stability. So just trust God. Trust God in the process. Trust God to help you strengthen you enough to get out for your kids. When you have 2, 3 kids, you are thinking, of, okay, they'll go to school in the morning, come back in the evening. Trust God to give you that strength that you need. As both couples able to bring and like now if for example most of the time in Nigeria because of the way the man is working, he doesn't really have time for the kids, and the woman is the one that is making those sacrifice of working alone, take care of the kids, and now you now need to bring so that the other person is not stressed out. You need to look at how you can come together. Both of you are involved in taking care of the kids, shower the kids, prepare the kids for school, make them meals, take them from school, take them to school. Look at how ways you can. Some of them we have maybe trainings, some of them we have extracurricular materials. Look at how you can manage those things together. Sit down together, discuss, talk it through, pray together, pray about some of the challenges you are facing. Yeah. And I know that there is nothing God cannot do. If God who has so one thing I always believe God for is God who has seen you through the process of since you've gotten married, raised kids when you were back in your own country, then brought you here. He's not going to leave you. He has been faithful in time past, and he will still keep on. He's still going to become. He's still faithful. Yeah. He's still faithful. So,
for me, in conclusion, marriage abroad is partnership. So we don't really see it as partnership. It will have a lot of friction. In partnership, you need to consider each other. You need to make things easy for each other. You need to do what will be convenient for both of you. You must not be stubborn, you must not be inconsiderate, you must not be adamant and say it must be my way and my way only. You need to be considerate, you need to put your husband or your wife into consideration in any decision you are making, and you need to, be united and understand each other. Those things will really, really make a lot of changes in making sure that you are able to weather the storm of abroad and storm of marriage together. And that is it, guys, for
Thank you.
today. Thank you
Thank
guys
you
for
guys.
watching. And if you have any
See you.
question, any contribution to this topic, please don't forget to drop it in the comment section. We're going to be reading it. And if you have any other thing you want us to talk about, just drop it in the comment section and we're going to talk about it. Thank you guys for watching. And if you are a new subscriber, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, drop a comment, maybe it's just a love emoji. I really appreciate it, and share to your friends. Till then, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.